Hi and welcome. Thanks for joining me today. My name is Scott Larsen. Today we're going to be talking about more fundamental movements in this series of classes I'm doing on practicing and restoring fundamental human movement patterns. So at its core, at the core of exercise is movement. And so learning and understanding each movement pattern is really critical to first move through space better and then optimize your exercise. And eventually, when you combine all these movements and modify them and perfect them, then you'll be able to build real-world functional strength to make your life easier and allow you to perform exercises to whatever degree you prefer. If it's playing a sport, going on hikes, playing with your friends or family, playing with a pet at the park, whatever your goals are, taking your groceries in more comfortably. When you perfect these human movements, they're going to be part of you, ingrained in you, and everything will be easier. Until recently, our ancestors were pretty functional. They were fit, and they spent most of their days moving, walking, maybe running, doing their job, whatever that might be. But they were moving their bodies a lot more than we were. Today, we spend most of our day sitting, sedentary, and that's just the situation we're in. So we have to practice these movements because as infants, we learn them naturally and then we lose them if we're not careful. And by being not careful, I mean if we sit for too long, we kind of lose the ability to move our bodies functionally. So let's continue this journey together. We're going to talk today about the twist, which is a pretty simple movement at its core, but is fundamental and not to be underestimated. So the twist is a movement pattern that both your ability to twist and your ability to resist rotation or resist a twist. Most of our twisting motions come out of our torso. So our lower back minimally, our mid back definitely, and some of our neck regions all twist really well. And a lot of people that I work with at a clinical level in the office have hyper mobile low backs. So their low backs move probably a little bit more than they're supposed to, and hypomobile mid backs. So the mid back region, the thoracic and maybe the cervical spine, don't move as they're designed. So it's kind of this reverse pattern that I've noticed over my career, largely from sedentary lifestyles and not really moving this functional movement. So we lose the ability to twist our mid back, and that twisting motion is coupled with extension. So imagine yourself twisting and like bending backwards. That motion goes away if we're not careful. And then that leaves us open to injury, makes it so trying to exercise and be fit becomes challenging. Trying to play sports becomes impossible or really challenging, or put you at a risk for injury. So imagine yourself going forward and lunging forward to throw a ball. Imagine while you're running and jogging, or you turn to talk to somebody behind you, you're twisting and you're rotating away. Those are common examples of how you do rotation in your daily lives. And then the anti-rotation movements are where your core is engaged in resisting the twist. It's kind of interesting to think about, and I like that idea, so we're going to just play with that idea for just a moment. But imagine somebody pushes you aggressively on the shoulder. So what happens? You have to engage your core to resist your body to go into that twisting motion. That's anti-rotation. Another idea is where you might grab a door handle and yank open a door really hard. You have to resist the urge to twist your trunk and your thoracic region as you go through that motion. So that involves core stability. A lot of people in the chiropractic office that I see hurt themselves during anti-rotation. So they go and pick something up. Their core has to resist that urge to rotate, and then they maybe strain something in their back or worse, and they can lead to pain and dysfunction and problems. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple of exercises for twisting and anti-rotation, or rotation and anti-rotation. And there's a couple of fundamentals you want to keep in mind. First of all, when you perform these exercises, you want to protect your low back. It's important to maintain a semi-neutral spine, so you don't want to be flexed forward too much or extended too far back, so you don't want to be arched back or rounded. It's important to be your neutral, so try and stay neutral. Keep your core engaged. It's important to help you stabilize your lumbar region. And don't be afraid to rotate your hips as you go through thoracic spine rotation as well. Those two motions work together. So don't think of it as rotating your lumbar spine. Think of it as rotating, where your glutes are and where your pockets are. Those can rotate as you rotate your thoracic region as you're practicing this rotation. So let me give you a couple of exercises to think about. Look up a wood chop. So imagine you are a lumberjack in the woods and you're going to chop down a tree and you're holding a big axe. That's a wood chop. You can use resistance bands. It's kind of like a baseball swing almost. So you can put the bands at different levels and you can go through that wood chop exercise. On the ground, you can do a Russian twist. Russian twists are a core exercise that allow you to twist. You can do it weighted with like a medicine ball. You can do it unweighted with just your body weight in your hands. Standing medicine ball throws, where you're standing and rotating your body and throwing a medicine ball. I would say that's a fairly advanced move, but if you're a fairly advanced person, this might be right up your alley to practice this exercise. One arm dumbbell bench press allows you to resist rotation. And then, kind of more out there stuff, but popular in CrossFit style gyms would be something like a sledgehammer swing, where you're swinging the sledgehammer behind your back and rotating your body. There's much more. Those are just some of the few examples. You can do single arm rowing. You can do single leg Romanian deadlifts. There's so many exercises you can do to practice and exercise the twist. But before you do that, let me give you my drill. And this is a mobility exercise that will prepare your back to go through these rotational movements more freely. It's called an open book exercise. So definitely look that up. There's a bunch of styles on how to do this, but you can start by laying down on your side with your knees bent. Knees can be past your hips, or they can be about hip height. Imagine that 90-degree angle from your hips to your knees. So your hands are going to be together and form a straight line right out in front of you. So you can put a pillow under your head. If you have neck issues, support your neck. What you're going to do is keep your low back stable, and imagine rotating your top arm, and like a rainbow, it's going to open just like a book. And you're going to go back as far as you can comfortably go. You should stretch your shoulders as you do this. Your chest is going to stretch and open up. You're going to go as far as you can go. Preferably, you open that book, open your arms till it's on the opposite side on the floor. And you're going to hold that position for 10 seconds, and then you're going to come back to center, and you're going to repeat 10 times, and that's the drill. There's a couple tips. If your outstretched arm feels really tight, or you feel a lot of tension in your chest, I would recommend that you place your hand behind your head and just use your elbow. It's going to create less leverage, and so it's going to put less stress on your torso. And you don't want to force this. Anytime you're going through these range of motion exercises, this is not about building strength, so you don't have to really push yourself. You don't need weights to do this. This is a mobility exercise, a brain training exercise. So do it every day for a couple weeks. 10 repetitions, hold for 10 seconds. That's a good number to shoot for. 10 seconds, 10 times for 10 days. Easy, right? Okay. So open book exercise, awesome mobility drills. You can do it standing against a wall. You can do it in the chair against a wall using the wall as your reference. You can do it on your bed. You can do it in the middle of your floor. You can do it on a yoga mat. Look it up. You'll see videos of this all over the internet. Lots of good instructors and coaches out there teaching how to do it, so don't be shy. Definitely something everyone should be able to do to some degree. Once you get your twists down, some of those exercises I mentioned, explore those too and start building up your functional twisting strength. It'll help you throughout life. So quick recap, don't neglect putting some time and effort into restoring these functional movements. There's 7 of them: squats, lunges, twisting or rotation, pushing, pulling, hinging at your hips, and then of course perfecting your walking pattern. So Thanks for joining me today. If you made it this far, drop a comment or send me a message or a note. I love hearing from people who are working on this stuff. And have a great day.